Talk about it. Now, 3 people use a web forum to share their opinions on the most useful inventions of all time. Now, what is opinion? Opinion is people's idea, so they put on their opinions on the forum. Now, opinion, we can say, what is your opinion on something? Then you can answer, in my opinion, or you can say, in my view. They mean the same thing. Of all time. Sometimes when we use of all time means something that has ever existed. So for example, if you have your favorite singer, Jay Zhou, for example, so you can say Jay Zhou is the best singer of all time. You can also use this phrase of all time in many different areas. Listen to the passage. As you listen, pay attention to the details and underline the words that you don't know. It's very important to underline the words that you don't know when you listen, because it gives an impression about this word, and when we explain or discuss this word, you will remember better.
Unit 2, Inventions. Chapter 2, The Most Useful Inventions. Page 27. Talk about it. The most useful inventions.
The other day, my friends and I had a discussion about the most useful invention of all time. There were many good ideas: the train, the car, and the airplane. They're all useful, but they were not my choices. For an everyday, useful invention, I vote for the air conditioner. I live in Taipei, and during the summer the temperature can be 35 degrees Celsius or higher. It's so hot. I'm not joking when I say that without an air conditioner, people here couldn't work or study. The weather is so hot that it can make you feel unwell if you don't drink enough water and get enough rest. What do you guys think is the most useful invention of all time?
Posted by Cindy Wu on Saturday, April 13.
I don't know if I agree with you, Cindy. For me, the most useful invention of all time is surely the Internet. We can now reach people and do business faster. I own a clothing store in Mexico City, and there's a lot of competition. I also have a website. Now, people from all over the world can buy my clothing. With emails, I can keep in touch with friends and family in Mexico and around the world. It's faster than usual mail, and it's cheaper than using the phone.
Posted by Jorge on Sunday, April 14.
Jorge, I also think that the Internet is useful. But, in my opinion, there is an invention that is even more important, and that's electricity. Of course, this isn't a man-made invention, but without people like Benjamin Franklin and Alessandro Volta, we wouldn't have learned how to use it. And without electricity, many of the world's most important modern inventions would not work.
Posted by Kazuo on Monday, April 15.
Intensive reading, Post 1. Now in Post 1, we want to look at the detailed information. Who? Who posted? When? When was the post? What? In this case, which invention the poster or the writer think the most useful? And why the writer thinks so? Now you have 1 minute to read the post and find the details. Ready? Go! Time's up. In post 1, Cindy Wu posted on Saturday, April 13, and she thinks the air conditioner is the most important invention of all time. Why? Because she lived in Taipei, and during summer, without an air conditioner, people there couldn't work or study. I think the situation is probably also true in the South. What else? Sometime the writer will tell us more information. Cindy also said in summer, the temperature can be 35 degrees Celsius or higher. She also said the weather is so hot that it can make you feel unwell if you don't drink enough water and get enough sleep. Now temperature. Temperature is the measurement in degrees of how hot or cold. Celsius. Celsius is a scale of temperature in which water freezes at 0 degree and boils at 100 degrees. Now, in some other parts of the country, they use Fahrenheit. If they use Fahrenheit, water boils at 212 degrees and freezes at 32 degrees. Now, so far, in America and England, they use Fahrenheit system, while in Taiwan, we use Celsius. Unwell. Unwell means ill or sick. In the other words, if people don't feel well, they can say, I feel unwell, or I feel ill, or I feel sick. The opposite would be well. How are you? I'm well. That means you are not sick, you are fine. Post 2, intensive reading. In post 2, we are going to look at the same detailed information: who, when, what, and why. Now you have 1 minute to read the post and find the details. Ready? Go. Time's up. Now in post 2, hooray. When? On Sunday after 14. What? The internet. He thinks the internet is the most useful invention. Why? He said, we can now reach people and do business faster. What else? He also said, he owns a clothing store in Mexico City and has a website. People from all over the world can buy his clothing online. He also said, with emails, he can keep in touch with friends and family in Mexico and around the world. It's faster than usual mail and cheaper than using the phone. Now, all over the world and around the world, that means the same thing. That means everywhere in the world. Now, keep in touch. Keep in touch is to communicate with someone, especially by writing or telephone them, which means call them. Now, sometimes we say usual mail is to use a letter to keep in touch with people. However, it is so slow that people in the US also call it snail mail. You can see the little tiny creature snail in the photo. Intensive reading post 3. In post 3, we are going to look at the same information: who, when, what, and why. Now you have 1 minute to read the post and find the details. Ready? Go. Time's up. In post 3, Kazuo posted on Monday, April 15. What? He believes that electricity is the most important invention of all time. Why? He said, without electricity, many of the world's most important modern inventions would not work. It sounds very true, isn't it? Without electricity, all the internet will be gone. Without electricity, we will all live in the dark, no light. Without electricity, the power is gone, and the machine will not work. It sounds very true, isn't it? Now, modern. Modern means of the present time or recent times. Sometimes we say modern technology, or sometimes we say modern life. Post 3, what else? What other information they also share with us? Electricity isn't a man-made invention. We learn how to use electricity because of the two great inventors, Benjamin Franklin and Alessandro Volta. Now, man-made. Man-made means made by people. It means not natural. So when something is man-made, that means it's not natural. People create it. And in this case, electricity is not man-made because it's in nature. We already have that in our nature. We don't need to make it. Vocabulary review. Now we are going to look into those vocabulary again. First one is to discuss. Discuss is a verb, discussion is a noun. When you discuss something, it's to talk about something with someone, especially in order to decide something. So if you don't decide, then there's no discussion. So for example, we had a discussion with them about the differences between Britain and the US. And we all know there are some differences between Britain and the US. Vote. Vote is a verb. When people vote, it's to show by marking a paper or raising their hand which person that you want to win an election, or which plan or idea you support. So for example, I say I vote for her to be the chairman. You vote for someone or something. Now here, chairman means the head of a department or the head of a meeting. And sometimes we just say chair. During. During is a preposition. During means all through a period of time. So for example, during the summer, the air conditioner often runs 24 hours a day. It sounds crazy we have to run the air conditioner 24 hours a day. But sometimes we do need it when it gets too hot in summer. Temperature. Temperature is the noun. Temperature is the measurement in degrees of how hot or cold a thing or place is. For example, Some places have had temperature over 40 degrees Celsius. It is crazy, isn't it? People live in 40 degrees Celsius. We are very happy that in Taiwan, the temperature is mild, which means it doesn't go that hot and it doesn't go that cold either. Surely. Surely is an adverb. Surely means without doubt. Surely means certainly. For example, we should surely try to find him before it's too late. This sentence sometimes tells us about something they have to do before something goes bad. Keep in touch. Previously, we talked about keep in touch is an idiom. Previously, we also talked about keep in touch with someone means to communicate with somebody, especially by writing to them or call them. For example, do you still keep in touch with your friend from high school? Sometimes it's hard to keep in touch with people, especially when we move on to the college or we start our work. Opinion. Opinion is a noun. Opinion means your feelings or thoughts about somebody or something rather than a fact. Rather than here means not. So sometimes we say opinion versus facts. People can talk about their opinion all the time, but maybe they are not facts. For example, everyone has an opinion on a subject. So we can have our own opinion, but we may not say something about fact.